Once upon a time, in a quaint American town, there resided an unkind baker who owned a small shop. Though lacking in kindness, his baking skills were unparalleled. His bread was the softest, most heavenly creation, and his cakes were simply divine. The tantalizing aroma of his bakery drew people from all corners of the town, luring them inside his humble establishment. Yet, not everyone ventured into the baker's shop. Some merely stood outside, enticed by the mouth-watering scents wafting through the windows. This displeased the baker. Their noses feast on the fragrance of my bread, enjoying a free lunch while I toil in vain, he grumbled to himself. An idea began to form in his mind, an opportunity to capitalize on those enchanting smells. One winter morning, as the bitter cold engulfed the town, the discontented baker found himself in his shop, baking bread. Amidst his discontent, he glanced up to see a young man peering through the window. The man, wearing a tattered coat, appeared hungry yet filled with delight at the aroma of the fresh bread. This sight kindled anger within the baker. That thief outside my shop is savoring the essence of my bread, indulging in a free breakfast while I receive nothing for my hard work, seethed the baker. Unable to contain his fury any longer, he stormed across the shop and flung open the door. With a furious voice, he demanded payment from the young man for stealing the scents. Confused, the hungry young man replied, "Pay you? Pay you for what?" The baker, boiling with rage, accused him of pilfering the enticing smells from his shop. The young man, innocent and puzzled, explained that air was free, and he had merely been enjoying its natural fragrance. "Air may be free," retorted the baker, "but when it carries the essence of my shop, it becomes valuable. Pay me now, or I'll summon the authorities." Unwilling to pay for something he considered intangible, the young man stood his ground. Enraged, the baker seized the man's coat and dragged him through the snow to the house of the local judge. Despite the early hour, the judge, clad in his nightclothes, answered the door. Bewildered by the commotion, claiming theft of his precious smells, the baker demanded justice from the judge. Curious, the judge invited them inside, and they gathered around a large table. Eager to present his case, the baker recounted his grievances, while the young man calmly defended himself, asserting the freedom of the air. After hearing both sides, the judge fell silent, pondering the situation. Sensing the tension, the baker prepared to restate his demands. However, the judge halted him abruptly. "Quiet, I have made my decision," he declared. Turning his attention to the young man, the judge asked if he possessed any money. The young man hesitantly retrieved a few coins from his pocket, displaying them before the judge. The judge then requested the coins be handed over. With a glimmer of hope, the baker eagerly extended his hand, anticipating the payment. But the judge had a different plan in mind. "No," the judge said firmly. "I have determined that the sound of money is the appropriate payment for the smell of bread." Confused, the baker's smile vanished, replaced by a frown. He implored the judge once again, demanding the coins. The judge, unyielding, refused, explaining that the sound of the coins was the young man's payment for the bakery's aroma. The judge's decision struck the baker with a realization. It wasn't just the tangible bread that held value. The intangible essence that permeated the air was equally precious. Reluctantly, the baker acknowledged the judge's wisdom and conceded defeat. The coins returned to the young man, who was then instructed to return home. As the young man departed, the baker was left contemplating the true worth of his craft. The judge's ruling had reminded him that his success extended beyond monetary gain. From that day forward, a change slowly blossomed within the once unkind baker. He began to understand the power of generosity and the joy that comes from sharing the simple pleasures of life. And so, the baker's shop continued to produce the softest bread and the most delicious cakes in town. Yet, now, there was a warmth in his smile as customers entered, enticed not only by the tantalizing aromas but also by the newfound kindness that radiated from the transformed baker's heart.